This an all-out blitz. Real hard hits, them other podcast trash, we gon' make them all quit. We cover all the topics with intelligence and logic. I know you wanna score, but ID gon' stop it. We from Texas, so that mean that we Texans. Breaking down the X's and O's, our profession. No complaining, just training, you see the progression. They had a Pro Bowl for talk shows, we get selected. We gon' celebrate every win like a birthday. Ray J with the news, first with all the updates. Spin move on the competition, yeah, we juking them. You not really in touch if you not tuning in. This is Crenshaw, Briggs, and VT. We want the touchdown, we not trying to go for 3. And it's best if you get up out the street, cause them bulls out the pen and they bout to stampede.
Houston Texans, what up?
What up?
What up?
What up?
What up?
What up?
Hey!
Welcome, everyone, to the Texans Fan Battle Podcast. I'm your host tonight, Matthew Briggs. As always, with me, I got A1 Day 1, Mr. Crenshaw. Say what's up to the folks.
What it do? We live in KC.
Yeah, guys, if you're in Kansas City, make sure you stop by the Kansas City Taco Company. They are graceful enough to let us stop by and hang out here to talk draft with you guys. So if you're hungry, make sure you stop by and get a taco. All the way in Florida, not with us, because his body doesn't want us to hang out with us, is Mr. BT.
What's going on, guys? Man, you know I'm going to be there next year, but fuck, my body just said, nope, you ain't traveling this week.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we missed you, buddy. So we hope you get better so next year you can be here with us. So last night, guys, pretty spectacular, you think?
Yeah, I think yesterday was an amazing day for the Texans. It was only about an hour, maybe before the actual draft, where the picks were mostly solidified in terms of what we were doing for the quarterback position. We had 2 weeks of speculation of will they, won't they, on the quarterback position. And I will say that I ran a poll yesterday, so it was about right around 400 responses. So, a decent sample size. Out of 400 people, 93% said they were satisfied. 70% of those people said that they were super psyched. So 93% of the fan base is happy about the picks yesterday. You have a small segment of the fan base that actually are a little bit upset about the number of picks that we utilized to pick up Will Anderson. But overall, I think the Texans did a good job. I think most fans are happy, and I'm very happy. I came out of that draft happier than a pig in shit.
That sounded nasty.
You're real happy there, huh?
yeah.
Sound like happy like watching in the massage parlor.
No, listen. We went and picked players on both sides of the ball. We didn't just pick defense. We didn't just pick offense. We got a potential franchise quarterback. CJ literally said yesterday that, it's been a long time since we had a franchise quarterback. We talked about that a little bit yesterday. And honestly, it has been. Yes, we had Watson up until 2020. Basically, that's the last time he played a down for us. But it's been 3 years of hell. And now we get to see what a real franchise is going to look again. We've got a franchise edge and a franchise quarterback. So let's fucking go.
Yeah. So I didn't really get to hear much of the press conference. So VT can elaborate some good things that CJ, Will said, and D'Amico as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you what was said is basically they talked about how happy they were. CJ talked about the relationship that he had with Will Anderson. Will Anderson and him have known each other since high school. And so what he was saying was that, one funny thing, he said that Will Anderson was trying to sack him back in high school. He couldn't do it then. And he said, let's see if he can do it now. So I thought that was kind of funny. But basically, they were just talking about how happy they were to come to Houston. CJ actually said that that we're in a rebuild, and he's happy to be in a rebuild with the D'Amico Ryans, with the players. They talked about Stingley. They talked, about Petrie, some of the other studs, Damian Pierce that we have. And they referenced Laramie Tunsil. So they're happy with some of the pieces that we have. They're happy to be part of the process. Will Anderson actually spoke about how crazy it was, for basically him after the combine. I'm sorry, right before the combine. Basically, he said you have to have a lot of discipline. You have to be a student athlete a lot of times, not a lot of times, every single time. The whole 3 years that you're in college, typically 3 years, possibly 4, depending on who you are. But you have kind of like a structure, right? You have to go to class. You have your workouts. Once you're done with college, it's up to you. It's up to you to have that discipline to get your body in the right mind, your body in the right phase it needs to be, your mindset in the right phase. You could just go party every single day, but you have 6 weeks to get your body in the best shape humanly possible before the combine. And that's something that he stressed, is that's something that if you're going to succeed, you have to have that discipline. And it was just something that he mentioned, and that's what he did. And I think he was really proud of the fact that the Texans spend all that draft capital to go get him, because they thought of him that highly.
Well, I'm still curious on how they're going to play him. Did they talk about that?
They did not, and I think that I think they're still going to use him as an edge. I think they're going to move him inside sometimes here and there. I think that D'Amico will do some things that you probably won't see from another DC. I mean, if you look at the 49ers, he had some weird packages every once in a while. So I do think that most of the time, yeah, he's going to be on the outside, obviously, like playing edge. But I wouldn't be surprised if there's times where he goes on the inside, depending on what we're doing, and if it's an obvious rundown or something, and they want to use him that way. So they really haven't discussed it. We'll see how they use him. Honestly, when we won't even know till after training camp, to tell you the truth.
Do you see him like in a Michael Parsons role?
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
Do you see him in a Michael Parsons role?
I don't know if I see him in that role. I can tell you impact wise, possibly, but whether that role is true, I don't know. So I'll tell you that there are a lot of questions. We were actually just talking about this on a space. Obviously, I had to leave that space to do the live here, but we did not. We can't decide as fans, and so I honestly can't tell you, what we're going to do with him. And just to bring everyone up to speed on what's going on with the draft, if you don't have everything open, the Steelers have about 5 minutes left on the clock. We're looking and seeing to see if we can actually see what the pick is. So far, there haven't been any news on who the Steelers are going to take, but they've got a little less than 5 minutes now to call in the pick. So we're waiting on that.
Yeah, rumors are saying that the Steelers are thinking about trading that pick. What do you think?
Well, a lot of people were saying that potentially could be for Will Levis. He's no longer in the building. He left. And I'm sure he was very pissed off last night. He was expected to be in the top 5, if not top 10, and he obviously didn't go in the first round at all. Ian Rappaport said that he thought that it wasn't for Will Levis. He said that if someone was going to trade up, and possibly a different player, because to him it didn't make sense that if they had the opportunity to just take Will Levis and get the 5th-year option, why wouldn't you just do it? Why would you trade up in the second round to do it and not get that 5th-year option? So we'll see what happens. The Steelers, however, they have a bunch of needs. The Ravens just got a lot better. Obviously, the Browns have Deshaun Watson. Kenny Pickett looked better in the second half of the season. This is the first time they haven't made the playoffs actually since 2019. So, they need to get their act together. Yes, Mike Tomlin is a great coach. He hasn't had a losing season ever, but that's not going to last if they don't up their game. So, honestly, I think they're going to make their pick. And I don't think they're going to trade back.
Well, as you said that, the pick is in.
All right.
So,
So it looks like the Steelers have decided on Joey Porter. Um,
wow.
so I did not think that he was even going to drop that far.
Me
Um,
neither.
so that's interesting. I actually had Joey Porter mocked to the Jags, but yeah, I think it's a great pickup. A very worthwhile pick. To me, he was probably the third corner that I had. He actually left.
I have number one.
You had him at number one, so I think they got a steal to get him in the second round. Um, Makes a lot of sense. Their secondary was weak. Obviously they got another Watt there, so it's not their line that necessarily was the issue. It was their secondary, and they solidified that with Joey Porter. Uh, Good job by the Steelers on that pick.
Now, I like how you brought up the Jaguars because I got a question for you. So
Sure.
you're right. Joey Porter should have went to the Jaguars.
Yeah.
But you see what the Texans did with Will Anders. Do you think that affected their pick as they went for the tackle from Oklahoma instead of going defensive wise?
I don't. I think they had that on the board. I don't think that was. I don't think they did that because, in my opinion, you can't I don't think you can react that heavily to what a division rival does um, like that. I think that if you don't stick with your plan, if you've got a plan, you don't make decisions like that. I think those are rash decisions. I think you stick with your plan and you expect that your division rival will make moves in order to succeed. But that shouldn't sway you from your plan that heavily, especially when it comes to drafting.
Yeah, most definitely. Glad we didn't do that yesterday.
Before we talk about this, I just want to give out one piece of news. A fan favorite, Brian Cushing, will be announcing the pick today. So,
Steroid free or is he all hopped up?
listen, he's one of my favorites. I know that he's got a PED issue,
Mine
but
too.
I don't care.
All right.
Yeah.
So if we got a question from group, I'll kick it off with Crenshaw. Who do you think the Texans will go off in the third round?
Well, I could say the position they should go center. Who that player will be, it depends on who's available at the time. But I would go center 65, wide receiver 73, and end my night like that.
B.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a center. I think it's going to be Luke Whippler. That's what I would do. The reason it's obviously simple. We know that one of the issues that CJ Stroud has is that he doesn't do well under pressure, and he was when the pocket's clear. He's a number one accurate quarterback in America, obviously on the collegiate level. But when he is under pressure, he's knocked down to, I believe, like 27 or something. It was, I believe, the number was. So he's dramatic. He performs dramatically different when he is under pressure. Now, obviously, the Georgia game did change a lot of people's mind, which is, I think, why we picked him at pick number 2. However, if we don't give him a center, we're just giving him failure. And although I'm not a Mills truther, I will say that is definitely one of the reasons why Mills was unable to actually get off any offense. If you look at that Eagles game, that Eagles game in particular was sad to see because that interior line. Now, Luke Whippler is from Ohio State. So when you have a rookie quarterback and you're going to have a rookie center, the connection there to me makes a lot of sense. If you're going to have a rookie quarterback, right, and a center there, why not put them together? The chemistry between a quarterback and the center I think is underrated. It's very important that you have them work together on the timing to not have false starts, etc. And I say Luke Whippler all the way. Let's go. Luke Whippler, 65.
I got a question about yesterday. Give me your top 3 teams that had a great day one.
Well, obviously the Texans. I think the Texans did phenomenally well. Yes, I'm biased, but I think they probably did the best. I'm going to have to say the Ravens with their picks. Their pick with they're doing real well. And by the way, we have some news outside of the draft that the Ravens, before they got OBJ, they picked up Zay Flowers in the draft, and apparently Antonio Brown tweeted out that he's going to join Baltimore. So they're going to have Mark Andrews, Antonio Brown, Zay Flowers, and OBJ. What the hell is going on? So if we're talking about the pick for us when it comes when you talk about Cleveland, yeah, I think that pick for Cleveland could be a pretty good. It could be in the top 10. I think Cleveland, we could see them having at most 9 wins and possibly even less. And eight, I think Cleveland's going to be an 8 to 9 win team next year.
Now if Baltimore gets a running back, man, that's gonna be a good team.
Yeah, I think we're seeing the result of Greg Roman no longer being in Baltimore. Obviously, the news with um, the signing the contract with Lamar Jackson was great, right? He's getting, I think it was right around 180 something million guaranteed $1 million over 5 years. So they solidified the quarterback position. They've got three new receivers because Antonio Brown was announced today. They're going on a run.
Hey, real quick, Titans trade up with Cardinals. Will Levis? Question mark?
Yeah, it could be. So they just traded.
Kershaw says it's Will Levis.
Yep, it is. We got Aaron Wilson saying it's Will Levis.
We got all quarterbacks in the league. Damn. How you boys feel about that?
I mean, the Titans fans hated their pick yesterday. What do you think they think about the pick today?
I think it's a good pick for him. I think it's good value. Can't go wrong with it. They need a quarterback. Now Malik Willis, how you gonna feel about that? Think he's gonna make him work harder? Think he's gonna say, "Hey, I'm the backup and the future starter," or will Levis say, "Look, I got this"?
I think that there is no doubt in my mind that Will Levis is going to have the upper hand there in camp. He's a better quarterback than Malik Willis. However, that doesn't mean that
But why is he a better quarterback? Like, what would make you think he's a better quarterback?
because Will Levis is actually a better thrower of the football than Malik Willis. They're both athletes. Will Levis is a bigger athlete, so he's a better bully. Malik Willis isn't that type of athlete. But more so, Will Levis actually is a good passer of the football. The problem with Will Levis is that he thinks he can do more than he should. This is his biggest problem. It's not that he can't necessarily read defenses; it's that he doesn't give a fuck about what he's seeing on the field. He thinks that despite what he sees, he can still make the throws. He thinks that despite the pressure that's coming up, that he doesn't need to throw the ball away. That he doesn't need that he can fight through a defensive line, and that's why he gets negative yardage a lot of times. His problem is that he doesn't have discipline. It's not just his talent; it's his discipline. So for Will Levis, he needs a good coach that can actually bring him down a notch in terms of what he believes he can do. And that's what's really going to be necessary for Will Levis, and hopefully, Vrabel can do that.
Okay, so with Will Levis, Titans still have the worst quarterback in this division.
Yeah, I say right now, Titans have the worst quarterback in this division. I would say right now, obviously, I don't think you could say that Trevor Lawrence is the number one right now. So I would say right now it would go Jags and then Texans number two, and obviously we haven't seen a snap yet in the NFL, but just based on paper, I'd say we have the second best quarterback in the division right now.
All right, so see, we're talking about quarterbacks. What's your ceiling for CJ?
Before I answer that question, I just want to say that Matt Miller is saying that the Titans actually tried to trade up for Will Levis last night, but they couldn't complete the trade, so they did it today. So that is what Will Levis. That's what Matt Miller is saying. The trade is actually the 33rd pick, which is the Will Levis pick. So the Titans get the 33rd and the 81st pick. The Cardinals get the 41st pick, the 72nd pick, and the 2024 third rounder. So those are the details of the trade.
I think the best thing about that trade Now we got to hear fans saying what could have been. Since what levels was taken right there, we ain't got to worry about that. Now, if it was a skilled player and ended up being good, we're like, oh man, we traded that up for Will Anderson. He's not what we thought he was going to be. So that's what I like about it. But back to my question, what's your ceiling for a CJ?
My ceiling. So the best way that I can answer that is, I'm going to say my ceiling is probably a Joey Burrow. The best way that I can say that is that he's going to be a top five quarterback because I do think that he has the ability to get there. I think that obviously, I do still think that AR has the ability to be one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Unfortunately, went to a division rival. I wish he was outside the division, but he's not. But I do think that Stroud does have a high ceiling because of his accuracy. His ball placement, pause, is perfect. There's nothing you can complain about from an accuracy standpoint. So when you have that arm, when you have that accuracy, when you have those mechanics, then what you need to learn there is your off script play ability. And I think that you get better with that in time. That just takes patience and
So
time.
Sam Laporta to the Lions.
All right, that's a great pickup. They lost Hawk, so that's a great pickup. Makes a lot of sense for them.
Lions. Do you think them grabbing Gibbs yesterday was a reach?
Running back?
Yeah, it was a reach.
No, I don't.
I don't think
No, look at their offense last year.
but
I know everybody gives them hell, but I think they had a good draft. You got one of the best linebackers in the draft and a running back.
Yeah,
So
I agree. And what I have to say is that a lot of people will say, well, the consensus the consensus was that he could have gone later. But just because a consensus says that means absolutely nothing. What matters is what does your board look like, and where your picks are, and do you have to give up capital in order to get them later on? For example, let's say they could say, okay, we can get him in the second round, but in order to get him, though, we're going to have to trade up into the second round and lose a pick. They could have made the decision that they would rather not lose that pick. I mean, in terms of giving up trade capital to trade up in the second round and pick them in the first round. So I disagree, with people saying that it was a reach. I'm gonna piggyback off of what Landry has been saying this previous week before the draft started. That if you look at CMC, how he actually was a huge part of the offense of the 49ers, how Saquon Barkley was a huge part of the offense of the Giants. I believe that the Lions want to have that type of offense, and then when they have Goff, who is a decent quarterback, I think they made the right choice.
Earlier you was telling me about your top three teams yesterday. And then a pick came in. So you said the Texans. So who are the two teams that had a good draft yesterday on day one?
Yeah, so I think the Ravens and the Texans, I would say, had a great draft. If I say third, I think there's a lot of. I don't know if I can say honestly if there's a great third because I would have a lot of
I'm gonna
ties.
say Cincinnati. Cincinnati with Nolan Smith on that line. Huh? Oh, not. I'm, who am I thinking of? The Clemson guy. Miles Murphy, yes. Miles Murphy.
Okay.
Sorry, guys.
All right. Yeah, I guess you could say that. They had a late pick too, and they were able to get him. Yeah. Actually, I think Miles Murphy was, in my opinion, he was supposed to go way earlier. So that's probably a steal in my mind.
Yeah, Miles Murphy, Nolan Smith. They're all late round steals, right?
Yeah. So I have. Yeah, you're right. I could say that. Yeah, anyone that got Miles Murphy, I think what did they get him at 28, right? If I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Um, that's a steal and a half. Yeah, so I have to agree with that.
And
So
you
the
got to go with the Eagles. The Eagles had a great draft too. I mean, you can call them the Philadelphia Bulldogs at this point, but their defense just got way better.
so the Raiders have selected who everyone thought was going to be the first tight end on the board, and they select Michael Mayer.
Okay. Well, since they traded Darren Waller, not bad pickup.
Yeah, they traded up to the Colts. They traded pick 38 and 41 to get up to pick 35, and they took Michael Mayer to replace Jaron Waller. Yes.
So, what do you think of the Cowboys pick? Do you think that was a reach?
No, they needed.
Really?
No. I don't listen. I don't think it's a reach when that's your board, right? Like if they believe that that's the best tight end, right? Like they needed it, right? So
I just think you could have got Maisie Smith in the second round.
who? I'm sorry.
Maisie Smith, the difference.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I do, again, this is what I think when people talk about reaches. So they're a late pick in the second round. They would have to trade up
True.
in the second round and give up trade capital in order to get him, as opposed to just picking him where he is and then using their pick where they are. So I think that's something people have to keep in mind. Like, yeah, are you saying that's too high? Like right there. But again, in order to pick them in the second round, they would have to give up other trade capital, and sometimes it doesn't make sense to do that. Just make the pick.
Hey, you know what? There's something else that we didn't talk about. Joey Porter get drafted by the Steelers. Didn't his dad play there?
Yep.
So that's like a homecoming for him.
A
Yeah,
legacy.
I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, that's incredible. They got to have a throwback picture somewhere of him, a ball boy. He was somewhere in the crowd.
Hold on. Give me a second.
I know they have it. That's unheard of right there. Hey, so BT, where do you think your boy from Georgia going to go? The tight end, your favorite tight end?
I mean, maybe us. I mean, I don't know honestly right now.
I don't know if you can see that.
I think we're going to see a run on tight ends honestly coming up right now. So we just had two tight ends just right now. I could see Darnell Washington honestly being in the next couple of picks. So I honestly don't have a prediction though. Let me see who needs one the most.
So Chargers are on the board. Who are they taking at 36?
Let's see. They got the defense. They bettered the defense last year, so I'm going to say that. I'm going to say they're probably picking someone on offense if I was them. So I'm going to say it's probably offense. So they don't need a running back. Did they get on a receiver?
JMS?
You think they get a center? I don't know.
Their offensive line is not that great.
All right,
yeah,
so
they got who did they get last? They got
So-
a receiver yesterday.
wait, hold on. I think we got that wrong here. It wasn't the Chargers that are on the clock. It was the Rams, and the Rams just
The
selected
Rams.
Steve Avila.
Ooh.
So the Rams just select. Yep, they went O line. The guy is the guy's gonna play center for them. So they needed it.
So he's gonna play guard, huh?
They could play. He could play center or guard. So we'll see where he ends up, but he could play both. Yeah, I mean Stafford does need protection. So yeah, good pickup there. Not a sexy pickup, and I think that's the problem that some Texans fans, like I talked about it earlier today, people were asking, well, who do you want to pick up? And I say center at this 65th pick, and they're not really happy with that answer. And I think that the reason why it's not a sexy pick, because in all honesty, when the center does their job, you don't ever hear about them. You only hear about it when the center doesn't do their job and the play's blown up. And I think fans have to realize, you cannot have a quarterback succeed without proper protection, and we need a center. So, yeah, that's good pick by LA, and I think that when we get our pick, I think we'll get a center.
You know what's crazy? That we all thought the dude from Notre Dame, the tight end, was going top 15, and it went second round.
Yeah.
Why do you think he fell?
Because there was more of a run on, honestly, on line, on the trenches. So the trenches really picked up steam in the first round. So when there's a run, and there was a run on the trenches in the first round, which is why the tight ends really started getting hit up in the second round. And I think we'll see a bunch of tight ends go right now. But that made a lot of sense. Once there's once there's everyone's in the trenches, I think we changed the board. Once Will Anderson also went for those amount of picks too, I think people had to solidify their lines. They knew that was just the way the trend was going to hit, and that's what happened. So now there are almost. They haven't announced the pick officially yet.
Yeah, they just did.
Well, I guess my stream is a little slow.
We're Kansas City. We're in real time. You gotta get on our level.
Out of curiosity, what are you guys watching it on? Because I'm watching on NFL Network over here.
ESPN.
So they're just announcing it now. So they're saying here that Steve Avila, yeah, he can be center or guard. That's his flexibility, and he's got quick feet, and helping the run blocker. Question here: do you think Robert Woods beats out Collins for number receiver? I don't think they're going to play the same position. You got an XYZ, and I think you're going to have Robert Woods, Nico Collins, and John Mechie out there. I think you're going to have all three of them. I think that the real issue is we're going to draft a receiver, and the real question is the receiver that we draft, is he going to take Nico Collins' job? Not whether Robert Woods will. Whether the receiver that we draft today, hopefully, will he take Nico Collins' job? And I think that's the question. Robert Woods and Nico Collins would be out there at the same time.
Yeah, right now I think they both get probably the same amount of looks, right?
Yep. All right. So the Seahawks have selected their pick. The Falcons have traded up. So it looks like the Seahawks will pick Auburn edge Derek Hall.
Oh wow!
So what do you think of that pick?
Well, like yesterday, they went cornerback. They did go receiver, which was kind of surprising because you got Lockett and DK. So it makes you want to think, are they going to move on from Lockett? But with this pick, you're solidifying the defense again. Like the Legion of Boom. You're trying to bring that back. Christoph, what do you think?
I think it's a good pick. They had a pretty good. Well, it wasn't good, but it was okay defense last year. And like Matt said, bring that Lisa Boone back. I think Seattle, they rebuild is coming fast. There's coming the same amount of time. I wish our rebuild would come. Now, I don't know how long Geno Smith magic is going to happen since he got paid now. But I think Seattle's doing pretty good. I would add them at probably number 4 as the team that did had a pretty good draft.
Okay, I could see that. I'm actually listen. The consensus actually said that Hendon Hooker could have been a first round pick, and it doesn't. Right now, we're into the second round, and we're not seeing a rush to go get him. We are seeing that the trade up. Let me see what the trade up was. So the Falcons are on the clock to get to pick number 38. They gave up 44 and 110 to the Colts. So I don't know yet what that pick is. Okay, actually I do. It is lineman Matthew Burgeon. Am I pronouncing that? Matthew Burgeon. That is the pick for the Falcons.
That's a good pickup. Protects Riddler, who's going to be your quarterback. Helps B. John in the gaps. So you're slowly building your team.
Yeah, I think it is a good pick. I mean, like I said,
Hey VT, what you think about that freestyle that guy made about Arthur Smith? Did you hear it?
all right. Guys can hear me now? All right.
Yeah.
Can you just ask me that again? I'm sorry.
I said, what you think about that freestyle that guy made about Arthur Smith? Did you hear it?
No, I did not. No, I did
Because
not.
he was dissing him because he drafted Bijan over Edge. He said they needed an edge and drafted Bijan, so he made a whole freestyle about him.
I think. Listen, you heard me say. I just repeated what Landry said, and I actually believe some of what he says when it comes to running backs. The thing about it is that running backs can change your entire offense, and the thing about Bijan particularly is that you can line up at slot. He's not just a running back. So what they decided is that was worth changing their entire offense was worth it, and I don't disagree with that. You know, they're making a decision that's how they can be explosive, and it's pretty hard to argue that Bijan Robinson is the most explosive player in this draft. So taking him at 8, it may seem very high, and it does, especially for a team that has lots of holes, and I can understand not wanting to take him there. You always want to solidify your line first, but they obviously believe that they're not that far away from competing in the division, and they believe that they can get the pieces that they need later on. So, yeah, I'm going to have to disagree with that.
So here's a question. We were talking about receivers earlier. Mingo? Question mark.
I like Mingo. I think that he's going to be gone by the time we pick. So I don't think that's an option for us. So yeah, it's not like I wouldn't like him. There's receivers that I like all through this draft. Cedar Tillman, Jonathan Mingo are definitely up there. I just don't think he's going to be there. I think that we have a shot at possibly getting A.T. Perry. I think we have a shot at getting Marvin Mims. I think we have those are the 2 receivers that I think that realistically we can actually get.
Okay. What about Marvin Mims? Do you think we'd be able to get him?
Well, there we go. Panthers just took Mingo.
Well, that answered our question.
Yeah, so that's the problem with trying to say you want to make up. But yeah, like that's a great pickup for them. Um, initially I would say about a month ago, Mingo was going to go in the fourth or fifth, and as our friend of the show Bill Carroll said, when people rise through the board, it's really the media and the fans catching up to what the NFL already knows. And so
Right.
obviously a lot of these teams already had Mingo probably their second, or maybe even third. And the fans and the media caught up to where other teams had him. So, I think the Panthers are going to like it. I think Bryce Young is going to like throwing to Jonathan Mingo. You know, sure,
Chris,
Bryce
what do you
Young
think
is
about it?
up and down right now.
I think it's a good pick. You know,
Yeah.
they got Bryce. They building around him. So you got Mingo. They got the guy from Minnesota, right?
Which you're from Minnesota.
The wide receiver from Minnesota, Adam Thielen.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Adam Thielen, and who's the other wide receiver over there?
So they lost DJ. They
That's
lost
another guy. The guy from
Jones.
LSU.
They lost.
What's the guy from LSU name?
I don't know off the top of my head, honestly.
Damn. But anyways, they building around their quarterback, and that's what you do. The defense was already pretty good. Their defense is real good. They got a good D tackle, got a good edge, got a good safety, got a damn good cornerback. I think the Panthers could be a playoff team next year. That's Crenshaw hot take.
I mean,
I like it. I like it. We're eating flaming hot potatoes over here in KC.
I mean, their division is crap. So think about this. They got arguably, depending on who was on your board, right? They've got the best quarterback in the division. I don't believe that, right? But there's definitely people that believe that. So let's just say, for argument's sake, they got the best quarterback on the board, and they're building around him. And what's the division look like? The Saints are in disarray. They're not going to have Alvin Kamara. He's likely to miss a lot of the season with the legal troubles he's facing. So Tampa is going to be garbage. So who's their threat?
Nobody.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think that they have such a major threat here. I think that I think they could win the division with 9 games. So
Your
it's
volume
not-
went out again. We can't hear you.
All right, guys, you're gonna have to talk about yourselves if you can't hear me or not. I'm gonna just reboot.
All right. Well, while VT reboot, it's time to talk about. Come get y'all something on this Kansas City taco. I'm up here eating these chips and dip. I got me a lobster taco. I've been grubbing margaritas. So if y'all in the city, come get it. If y'all in the city, I will buy y'all some. Just send us a chat, DM, or whatever. We'll look out for you. But anyways, we're having a good time up here. So we're trying to do something that other people not doing. Trying to bring y'all some good content. Hopefully y'all enjoy it. Hopefully y'all watching. And we're gonna do our thing. Matt?
Yeah, man, come check us out. KC Taco Company. Some good stuff. I'm about to get me some loaded French fries. So, like Kershaw said, you want to see the hottest Texans podcast, make sure you show up, and we'll hook you up with a good time. So, guys, comment your what you think of the draft so far. Some questions, whatever you like. Everybody's loving this Mingo pick. What, buddy? So we got a comment. Jags by 50.
Jags by 50. All right, sorry guys about that. I had to reboot a little quick.
And our favorite 49ers fan, Brian, said loaded waffle fries rule. I have to agree with you, sir.
What's up, Brian? Thanks for checking in here. So the Saints pick is in. Did you guys already find out what it is? Oh, there we go. Isaiah Foskey, defensive end.
Oh, wow.
He's out of what college?
I don't actually know off the top of my head. I've watched him. I just can't remember. But as far as positioning, even if you don't know, like, aren't familiar necessarily with the play that much, would you have gone defense right here?
Say it again.
Would you have gone defense right here if you're the Saints?
Yeah. Yeah, why not? I mean,
Because
Cam
they
Jordan?
need offense.
Offense where though?
All right, so you may have not heard me because my mic, I think, screwed up while I was trying to say this. But Alvin Kamara is going to be out and possibly the entire year with the legal troubles he's facing. He could legit do a year's worth of time. So Alvin Kamara is a huge part of their run game and their short passing game. So I know you don't draft for short-term need, but this isn't the first round. This is the second round. This is where you start making some of those decisions. And if you don't have, if you know you're not going to have Kamara, this is a good place to get a running back or a receiver. And Michael Thomas, I understand they have Michael Thomas, but he's been injured like hell. So who knows how he's going to perform? So to me, if I was them, I would have gone running back. This would be a great place for a running back. I actually don't like this pick for them.
But didn't they pick up a running back from the Lions? So they're pretty good right there, right?
So again, but who's RB2? I mean, even in the second round, you can go RB2, right? Or a receiver,
Yeah.
because Michael Thomas, he hasn't played in how long? So now you're going to have. So now, like I'm saying, even if you don't want to if you want to go running back right there, what about receiver? You should, in my opinion, they should have done something on the offensive side of the ball. It seems like they just want to go play smash mouth football, which is okay, but I mean, I don't think they're gonna actually be a great team so far. Like, as I see what they're building right now, it doesn't look very good to me. I mean, tell me if I'm off the wall here, but I don't see them competing heavily this season.
I mean, I like Derek Carr. I think they're gonna. I think they're a win team, and that division isn't great. I mean, isn't great. That's why I say I think the Panthers are gonna win a division.
Yeah, I think the Panthers are going to win. I know you like Derek Carr, but again, he needs weapons, and I don't. What are they doing? Are they planning that they are going to? I mean, look what they're doing, right? Like if you're watching, you're not watching NFL Network, but I was going to say, look at it like you're looking at my screen. But they're just talking about the previous picks. It's defense. Like you need something on the offensive side of the ball here. I mean, if you look at last couple of years, they had plenty of games where they put up 9 points, 12 points. I mean, they need some offensive help.
That's true. They do need some offense, especially for that team that known for offense. all of the Drew Brees years. But so you do got a point right there. I mean, maybe they might surprise us, make a trade up. But yeah, you're right. They should have won offense. Yeah, this defensive guy. But you got to think about it. He got a defensive coach, so that's what he knows. He want to stay defensive heavy, and he's been good at that since he's been there. So maybe he's like, well, look, if we're not going to score, but we're going to stop you from scoring. Or he could look at it. Okay, they just got Bryce Young, so we got somebody to worry about. They got B. John, got somebody to worry about. So you got to look at it like that as well.
I didn't want to interrupt you while you're there, but the Cardinals have selected B.J. Ojolari.
Okay.
So I think that was an obvious need. They lost J.J. Watt, so they now have to rebuild that. So this was an obvious need and an obvious pickup to me.
Now, remind the fans, who did they pick with their first pick?
Remind the fans what? I'm sorry.
Who they got in the
I'm sorry. You cut out
in the first? Who they got in the first round?
Who did they get in the first round? Honestly, I'm gonna have to look because I can't remember. I was so excited about who we got that, to tell you the truth, I have to actually look. I forgot.
The only reason why I asked you because I forgot.
Hold on, let me look it up. Sorry, guys, my brain is fried from yesterday. Believe it or not, I didn't even go to bed until 2 a.m. because I was so happy. They got a tackle. All right, so they got Paris Johnson, which actually was great because Kyler Murray was actually saying that he needed help. He was actually being lobbied for that. He was saying that, hey, guys, I need some help. Those were reports that Kyler Murray wanted Paris Johnson. So there you go. They're fixing their line. Believe it or not, this is how teams draft during a rebuild. Let's just analyze what the Cardinals are doing. They've traded down twice already. In the first, in the second. They traded 2 times. They got offensive line and they got defensive line. Right now, they're on par. If they still believe in their quarterback, yes, I understand that they have their quarterback, so you can't call it a full rebuild, but they are going trenches first, trading down, stacking up picks for next year. Next year, not 2023, I'm not talking about this season, I'm talking about 2024, the Cardinals could actually be a force to reckon with because they're going to have a ton of picks in the 2024 draft, and Kyler Murray is going to be healthy. And then you're going to have Paris Johnson, who should be up to speed by then. You're going to have B.J. Ojolari be up to speed by then. You're going to have the head coach be up to speed by then, who just got hired, and the general manager. So the Cardinals are right now, they're doing everything right. So I was making fun of Jonathan Gannon and so forth, but right now, if I'm a Cardinals fan, I'm saying I know this season is a throwaway season. I'm likely to be picking first overall next year, but I'm planning for 2024. So if I'm a Cardinals fan, I'm actually a little bit excited, even though knowing that I'm going to have a shitty season this year. How do you feel about Arizona?
Yeah. But, they still go as far to Kyler Murray take them. But what you said made sense. They stockpile the picks just in case. The Cardinals are a good team. It just, they are a regular season team. Come playoffs, they're not good because you figure them out. But I think maybe in the next couple of years, maybe they can win a division. Because I think San Francisco is going to fall off in a couple of years. Tell you, homie, sorry about that. Well, I don't know. Because Seattle still is going to be good. And the Rams, I think the Rams will come back along. So it's kind of hard to tell because the division is up and down. But I don't know, man.
So I did say a couple moments before that I think there's going to be a run on tight ends now, and the Packers have taken tight end Luke Musgrave.
Who took him? Wow.
Packers.
Oh.
And
Give Jordan Love some love.
Yeah. And I think that, so let's just do a rundown on the tight ends taken so far. You've got Dalton Kincaid that went to the Bills. You got Sam Laporta that went to the Lions. You've got Michael Mayers that went to the Raiders. And now you have Luke Musgrave that went to the Packers. So now you have 4 tight ends already taken in the 2023 NFL draft. All before my main man, Darnell Washington.
Yeah, that's the crazy part,
Right?
right? So here's a question, or not a question, but Mark Vandermeer thinks Texans trade up to the second round. What's the possibility?
I think the possibility is high.
Right?
I
If the time to do it is now. You got 12 picks. Well, not no more, but
we still have 10 picks in the draft. We have 10 picks this draft. So, or not, whatever. I mean, like, in all honesty, we have a ton of picks. That's not even the question. The real thing is, what is the plan? Is their plan to win as many games as freaking possible this year? Yeah, it is. And you can look and see, like, if they spend all that draft capital for Will Anderson, it's let's fucking go time. It's no longer, we're planning for next year. We're stacking up picks. Expect us to lose. It's fans, get your ass in the stadium because we're trying to win. So watch what we do.
all right, the Jets are in. Oh, yeah.
All right, so let's see. So the only issue that people are saying about Luke Musgrove is that he needs to stay healthy. Obviously, every player needs to, but that is the only real big knock on the pick for Luke Musgrave. But I think that you got to give someone a dump off, and Jordan Love being a rookie quarterback, even though I'm still going to call him a rookie quarterback, even though he's played a few games here and there. He really hasn't done much. And I think that he's going to look forward to the new weapons that he has here.
Yeah, I mean, this is his time to shine, right?
Yeah, and I think that last year you saw that even with Aaron Rodgers, Green Bay did not have a great season because they didn't have a lot of weapons, and so you can't do that to a rookie quarterback. And so they're starting to give him some weapons. Okay, so now we have the situation that I thought was going to happen, which is we start losing our centers. So Tippmann has been taken off the board. The Jets have selected center Joe Tippmann.
Pittman, huh?
Yep.
Right. One of these persons for JMS.
I think, what's weird is that I have seen a lot of people that actually think that Tippmann is a better center than JMS.
Really?
I disagree. I think JMS is amazing. But, not everyone has the same board. But I will say that JMS is just such a beast in the run game, and particularly for us, I think it would be worth giving up trade capital to get him. Man, I would be so happy to. If we got CJ, Will Anderson, and JMS, I might have to excuse myself to go to the bathroom for 5 minutes.
So it's like having Matt Schaub on.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, again, we're here at KC Taco Company. Make sure you stop by, get a taco, kick it with us. Great time, great food. Crimsaw's over here killing it, just murdering it. Peter's about to try to cancel Crimsaw for how he's killing all this meat. Pause.
Yeah, pause. Really, pause. Now,
Gretchen, I didn't know you like that.
now, Joe is a shocker because we all assumed JMS was the best center in the league. The draft. So, how do you really feel about the VT? Do you think that Joe fits the Jets system better with Aaron Rodgers, and that's the reason why they didn't pick JMS?
Yes, I do, because Joe. So basically, you would get JMS if you're going to run a lot, run more than you pass. That's why you get JMS. JMS is a beast in the run game. He is not necessarily the best in the passing game. Now, when I say not the best, that doesn't mean he's a slouch. That just means that he's not the best. So I think that for what they want to do with Aaron Rodgers, who's obviously going to be a more pass-heavy scheme, this is definitely what you want to do. You want to pick the protection that you're going to need for your quarterback, and your quarterback is going to throw more. He's not a rookie. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers is a seasoned vet, so you're not going to use a run game to try to take the pressure off of him. You're actually going to put the team on Aaron Rodgers' back, and so you need that center. And Joe Tippin is that center for Aaron Rodgers, and I think actually it's a good decision for them.
So Colts pick is in. Do you think they go corner? Where do you think they go?
For who? I'm sorry.
The Colts.
Colts. I think if I'm the Colts, I would go receiver. That's what I would do right now for the Colts. They got.
Man, Brian Branch is still there.
Oh, they just picked Brian Branch?
Is that who they picked?
Oh, no. They picked Julius Brents.
Wow. That's a sucker.
Yeah. No, I guess you're right that they do go corner, but the question is, are they planning to start AR this year? I would say you pick someone at the 4th overall pick, you probably are. But the thing is, and if you are planning on starting him, why not get him some weapons? Exactly. As a Jaguars fan battle, one of our sister shows said, it's time to start building up weapons for your new rookie quarterback. This is your new franchise quarterback. How are you not going to build around him? To me, this is not the best move that the Colts have made so far. So I disagree with this pick. Does anyone actually think that this is what they should have selected and not built around their quarterback, that they go corner here?
I mean, I think it's a nice pick, but I kind of agree with you. You have to build the offense, right? They're ranked 25 on scoring offense. So you got to improve that with the rookie quarterback.
Right. I definitely disagree with this pick 100%. And it's not because I think that Julia Brents isn't worthy of the pick. It's not like I think they're reaching. It's that I just think that they're not picking what they need to do. And I know that many will argue, well, VT, they're not picking for need. They're just going BPA. Well, you just picked a rookie quarterback. You can't pick a rookie quarterback and then not build around him. If Julius Brents was, some sort of talent that is can't miss talent, then yeah, I'd understand it. He's not a can't miss talent, not at all. He's a good talent. He's not a can't miss talent. I would have gone receiver here. So don't agree with this at all.
I don't think it's a bad pickup.
The Lions just traded up.
Oh wow! The Green Bay.
Yeah. Green Bay. Same division trade. Unheard of. Well, not unheard of, but unusual.
Yeah. Yeah, when I put my mock out there, I actually had I was trading down to the Colts, and everyone was like, "You're never going to see a division trade." Nope, wasn't us, but here you go. You saw one.
Like I said, I'm curious about this Lions pick. They really. Would you think they go on defense or back on offense?
So there's two ways to think about this because they did lose players because of that betting scandal. Mm-hmm. So are they trading up to get a replacement? I don't know. Because Jameis Williams has had one catch so far in his NFL career, one catch. And he's going to miss the first 6 games of this season. Are they thinking that they have to hedge their bets and get another receiver? Because they're pretty much thinking that they're a playoff team at the very least this year. And without having him, which I think they were depending on him to be that speedy receiver, they may go receiver here. So I wouldn't be surprised if they go receiver. And the other thing is they also lost a safety. So that's why I said there were two ways to think about this. You could go safety or receiver because those are two big positions they lost. I think they're leaning towards receiver, but we'll see in a moment. The pick is in.
So, are you hearing anything?
I'm still looking. They haven't announced it officially, and I can't see anything here. Okay, it is Brian Branch. They went safety.
That's a good pickup.
Definitely. Brian Branch was a first round talent.
So, I mean, that's the side of the ball that lacked on, right? So, what a pickup.
Yeah, I like this pickup. Like I said, what I was saying is that it was either receiver or safety. They lost a receiver, and they lost a safety in the gambling scandal. Um, and the safety that they lost wasn't just a suspension; they released him completely because he had an indefinite suspension, whereas Jameson Williams only had a 6-game suspension. So they picked up a safety on it, and I understand it. It makes a lot of sense. They jumped. So the Lions jumped the Patriots, and so Branch had 90 tackles, 14 tackles for loss, 3 sacks, 7 pass breakups just this past season, using within the Saban defense. So it's a great pickup for the Lions, and it's a reasonable pickup because again they did lose a safety with the gambling scandal. They could have gone receiver here, and I still think that would have been a good pickup as well. So whether it was receiver or safety, it made sense. And I actually think this is a steal because, like I said, Brian Branch was expected to go towards the end of the first round.
Yeah, a lot of these guys fell that, doing all these mocks over the last couple of months that was first round picks, they're starting to fall. So that goes to show you nobody know what they're talking about.
Well, I mean, one thing is you can never. There's always a run for something, and like I said, yesterday there was a run on the trenches. So we do have some more picks to talk about here. The Patriots just drafted Georgia Tech edge Kenyon White.
Well, he's going to New England. He's going to be
Go to
good.
New England.
He's going to be good because I don't know how they do it, but they find a way to make an edge some money, no matter where he's picked at. I don't know how the hell they do that, man.
Yeah, I think this is a good pickup for them, but however, what's really going to depend. All right, let me start off by saying one of the things that the Bill Belichick system has always done, right, is that they prioritize defense a lot and to take the pressure off the offense. And I think that it didn't work necessarily as well as they wanted to last year, so I can understand this pickup. Kenyon White, I think that this is pretty much where a lot of people thought he was going to go. So I think that, this is from a value standpoint, it makes sense. So I have no negative comments, frankly. Like last year, they were picking dudes in the first round that was supposed to go in the fourth. So this is a pickup that, in my opinion, you have the value that you need over here. No complaints really on this one. So I'm just going to address this one. The Jaguar fan battle said the biggest roadblock for a new NFL quarterback is a team not adding playmakers around him. That quarterback play is a sunken ship in the NFL today, regardless of how great the defense is. I agree. I think that is a problem with the rookie quarterback, which is why I think I actually disagree. With the Colts not adding around AR-15. So I couldn't agree more with the Jaguar fan battle.
So, in other words, we need to get some more skilled players to go around CJ.
We do, but I think we got to do center first and then receiver. because even if we had Devontae Adams on our squad, you can't get any offense off if you don't have if you don't have protection. Like, what good is a great receiver if you can't throw him the ball?
That's true. That's true. That's why I was kind of shocked on the Jets picking up that center because they just re-signed their center. You would think that they'd let him walk. They want to go center right now. And the guy they re-signed, I thought it was a candidate for us to pick up in the offseason.
I mean, I think that what they wanted to do is I think they wanted also flexibility because you do have some flexibility, with him, and obviously Tippmann, he's a beast. Like I said, there were people that were rating him as number one, and obviously as you saw, like that's pretty much where he went. So I don't think I have a problem with that pick, especially when you know that how Aaron Rodgers plays. A lot of dropbacks. So you got to give him that protection.
Yeah. Well, I guess Aaron Rodgers is making these picks right now. He's telling them everything he wants. They're going to do it because they owe him a lot of money in 2024. So they better give all they can get right now while he's cheap.
Yeah, for real.
So the Brian Branch is just walking out now. We're a little ahead, obviously, of the official.
So I got a question.
Well, I'm just going to say the breaking news first.
What's breaking news?
The Washington select safety Jarvis Martin.
Jarvis Martin. Out of where?
Doesn't say. This is from Albert Bear. So, go ahead with your question. Sorry.
I was going to say, what team do you think now is either going to tank or be bad enough to get Caleb Williams next year?
Well,
do you think it's Tampa?
Arizona is going to get, I think, the top pick because they won't have Kyler Murray, and
so he's going to be out the whole year.
He could be out the entire year, or at least the first 8 weeks.
But they just re-signed him, so you think they would still go quarterback?
No. I'm not going to say they're going to go quarterback. I'm saying that they're going to pick first overall.
But who do you think is going to get Caleb Williams?
I think that who they decide they want to trade to, frankly. So that's why I can't say, because they're going to trade out of that pick. So whoever
my pick would be the Raiders.
You think the Raiders are going to have the top pick?
Yeah.
Or trade up?
I know you're high on Jimmy G, but Josh McDaniels, terrible OC. I don't think he's going to be a good head coach. I think they win maybe 3-4 games. I mean, look where they play at. The AFC West.
Yeah, I don't think they believe that Jimmy G is a long-term answer either. So I could see them trading up to get someone else. But I think that if they are getting, I think that basically Josh shouldn't have a job. Frankly, I don't even know why he has a job now. If I was the Raiders, I would not have kept him. I don't understand why they did. Doesn't make a little sense because he was horrible. Because even I shit on Derek Carr a lot, but I would not have expected that Derek Carr would have had that bad of a season, and it was because of Josh.
I think that's why. What's it called? Last night they went Emmanuel Forbes. Now they went to Tavarius Martin. Why not go offense? If you think Sam Howell is the answer, why not give him a weapon, especially with height? It's still available.
I don't know if they believe that Sam Howell is the answer. I don't think.
Well, that's the guy they're going with, right? I mean,
yeah. But also realize they just got sold. Are they gonna do a lot regardless on that front? I don't think Washington's gonna make a lot of splashes. Frankly, I think that most of the building knows, or they should know, that they will likely all be replaced next year. this year is pretty much, in my opinion, a throwaway year for them. And I don't think they really believe in anyone besides the people that just get big contracts to, obviously. But yeah, I don't think they're going to pick a quarterback. I don't think, frankly, if they picked a rookie quarterback, they're not going to have a great time there because I don't believe we'll line Eric Bieniemy, frankly, and that's who they're going to be working with closely. And so, even if they picked a rookie quarterback, I don't see him succeeding there.
Hey, don't you be blaspheming Grimsaw's dude, all right?
Hey, well, he's my dude. But after VT told us a little something a couple weeks ago about him, now I see why they say what they say about him. But if he turned that offense around, he's going to be the head coach over there in 1 year. I think they're going to get rid of the coach right now, and he's going to take over.
I mean, that's a big if. That's a big if.
That's a big if because right now he doesn't have a quarterback. So his offense is not going to look like how it looked in Kansas City. But if they're, 18th or 19th in offense, that's an improvement because they don't have a quarterback right now. So we can see the scheme and everything, even if it doesn't work, but we can see the scheme and how they do everything to see how good of an OC he is. And I'm hoping he does good, but he's got to, get his attitude in check and things that he wants so he could be a head coach.
Okay, this is something I didn't see. Cody March going before JMS.
Where he went to?
Bucks. The Bucks picked up Cody March.
So
if honestly, I want them to trade up and get JMS at this point because you see the run happening right now.
But why do you think he's falling?
I don't know.
It's got to be something that they're not talking about, that they're going to say something later.
I know. But hopefully it's a risk that I think that's worth taking. I mean, I don't even know what it is, right? But if I'm assuming the Texans know what it is. And if they think it's a risk we're taking, take the damn risk. So it is funny here.
Got a comment saying, could JSM slide to us? I mean, that's what we're hoping, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think. I mean, listen. He's not. I don't think he's going to slide to 65. We will have to trade up, but yeah. And we also do have more breaking news here. The Steelers take Keanu Benton. So now they have the defensive tackle, and I understand why they're making these defensive picks, because if you look at the Steelers, every single time T.J. Watt is out, they lose. They literally only win when T.J. Watt is playing. So they have to get other individuals to make plays on the D-line. And so I understand why they're doing that. So this does make sense to me.
Yeah, that's not a bad pick.
Yeah, so I understand this pick plenty, because I've said that before, that they have to get players outside of T.J. Watt. But yeah, that's interesting. So, do you think that? Listen, Mark said that he thinks that we could trade up into the second. I think it's getting late enough where that may make sense in terms of value. If whatever's wrong with JMS that they figure out, do we think that it's actually a possibility? I mean, are my dreams going to come true? We get arguably one of the best quarterbacks in the draft, the best defensive lineman in the draft, and on my board, the best O-line, the best center in the draft. Somebody feed me some Kool-Aid because I want to believe that.
I mean, we can hope, right?
We can. So we're a couple picks above what you know what you're being shown. We're still talking about the Bucks pick. If there's no JMS, we don't have. Tipman's gone. JMS is gone. There's still the guy that I can't pronounce from.
Oh yeah, from Michigan.
Yeah, I can't pronounce his
Yeah,
name. Can
me
either of
neither.
you?
Double O,
I'm sorry.
double O.
Yeah, let's call him the new Double O.
Yeah, that's what we call him. Double O.
Uh,
007.
Double O from Michigan, and then there's Ricky Stromberg. That's out there as well. So there are two more centers left that I want. Um, so we still have options, and I think that honestly, there's a run on centers. This is where I would want to see a trade up. And we just talked about the Steelers selecting Keno Benton, and the picks are coming fast and furious at this point. And the Packers select wide receiver Jaden Reed. So they are getting a weapon for Jordan Love. And this, I
Who
believe,
they select
is a
who?
decent pick. I'm sorry?
Who they select?
Jaden Reed,
Oh,
wide
wow.
receiver.
Okay. Over Darnell Washington?
Yeah, I know. I mean, I guess they wanted wide receiver, not tight end, but yeah, to me, that's crazy. See, I think a lot of people are sleeping on Darnell Washington because he played with Brock, and Brock took most of the snaps. So Darnell was really asked more to block than to catch, right? But when he was a receiving threat, he was amazing. He just didn't get a lot of those opportunities because all those opportunities went to Brock. And I think that if you're trusting just production, then yeah, that's a reason why you may not select, select Darnell. But right now, honestly, when you trade up, you can get JMS. I think you take JMS over, another position. But they could also trade up and get Darnell because we're seeing what's the run in right now. We see a run on tight ends and centers.
Yeah.
We're not seeing a lot of run-ins on wide receivers, to tell you the truth.
Well, that could change any minute, right?
I'm sorry, Matt?
That could change in any minute.
That could definitely change.
The talent-wise, it can pick up quickly.
Yeah. It definitely. It only takes one team to start it. But yeah. So I'm hoping this one starts. Okay. So yep. So Jaden Reed out of Michigan. Let's see if we see some receivers start going off the board now that the Packers got Jordan Love a weapon.
Why do you think Jaden Reed went over Jalen Hyatt?
Well, that's an easy answer. Jalen Hyatt, although he's fast, he's a one-trick pony. His route tree is very limited. He's basically great for the go route, and that's why I think Hendon Hooker. If you remember the conversation where a lot of people were saying that they would prefer Hendon Hooker over AR and stuff, and I said hell no, and it's because of the offense that was ran at Tennessee. Tennessee is a very simplified offense. Jalen Hyatt was doing one thing, and he did it well, but he was doing one thing. Hendon Hooker it's a very simplified offense. You know where you're throwing to. You have an option. It's really a two-read system, right? And this is why people are saying, oh, Hendon Hooker should be picked 5th overall. This is the crap that we were seeing, right, just a few days ago. And we're seeing that, no, that's not true. NFL teams are not thinking that Hendon Hooker is a better prospect than AR. So he still hasn't been taken. And it's because of the system that they were in. Jalen Hyatt, I remember Lance Zierlein initially said that Jalen Hyatt was going to go at the 12th overall pick to us. So, no, the system is very important where these quarterbacks play. And I think what you're going to find is that, the NFL does not consider just splash plays. They look at how that play happened.
Okay, so do you think the Rice kid is falling, or everything's going as expected from you for him?
For which kid?
The Rice kid out of SMU, the one that we had looked
Oh,
at.
oh yeah, Rashay Rice.
Yes.
Yes. So right now, he was supposed to go, I think, closer to the third round, I believe, later second, and possibly third. So right now, I don't think he's necessarily dropping. We could start seeing like we said, we haven't seen a lot of receivers. Once we start seeing a bunch of receivers off the board, and if he's not getting picked, then we'll see. Bill Carroll said that he had some. I guess you can't call him issues, but he has a certain way that he likes to be coached, and he has to go to the right place at the right time. And so that was what Bill Carroll said. Shout out to Bill Carroll. If you're not following him, I can't remember. He has a weird Twitter name, but if you just search for him,
Dolphins.
you'll find him there. Um,
Dolphins to select Cam Smith,
oh, there you go.
South Carolina. That's a good pickup.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely a good pickup. They definitely don't need any more offensive weapons. They are stacked on offense. This makes perfect sense for them. They have to go up against Josh Allen, and this is definitely something that you need to do. Rice, baby. Um,
Yeah, I mean, you had Jalen Ramsey, you had um, Cam Smith, you already have a Howard. I can't think of the safety's name. That backfield looks dirty right now.
yeah, and I think they're doing it specific. No, I can't say just specific. I shouldn't say that, but they're in the AFC, just like us. They have to go against Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow. I mean, they have to go up against powerhouse quarterbacks, and so they need a crazy secondary. And I'm going to give a shout out to Leo. His Twitter handle is Leo is forgiven. If you're not following, go ahead. He's a good buddy of mine. Um, and the reason I want to give a shout out is because something he told me last year. And so I'm pretty much going to regurgitate the information that he told me because I think it's valuable. And what he said is that there's a reason why Nick Casario and management selected Jalen Petrie and Singletary, Derek was it Singletary, Stigley, Derek Stigley, and Jalen Petrie last year. There's a reason why in free agency we got Steven Nelson, and that we solidified that secondary. And the entire reason for that was that we play in the AFC and we have to prepare to go against these crazy quarterbacks. So that is the reason why I think we did that. And it's something that Leo told me last year. Again, his handle is at Leo is forgiven. And I think that he made a great point, something that I didn't really acknowledge. So just something to keep in mind. And now the Dolphins are doing the same thing. The Dolphins are now solidifying their secondary because they have to go up against these insane quarterbacks in the AFC. If you're in the NFC, you don't necessarily have to do that. So that's my take on it. So yeah, it's a great pick.
So we got a lot of love for Rice. Do you think that'd be a right pick at third round?
Um, After what Bill Carroll told me, honestly, it's really up to whether or not they think they can coach him correctly. Not just his talent wise, yeah, but character does matter as well. And Bobby Slowick and D'Amico have to think about whether or not he's right for us. Now, whether he is or not, I don't know. That's going to obviously be their decision, and I can't really tell what if they think that they are good enough to do that. They got a lot of rookie coaches in there. Yes, there is some veterans, but there's a lot of rookies, and I don't know if they want to take that much of a risk. Who's a risk like Jalen Carter? Someone that's an easy, in my opinion, he dropped, but he was an easy top 5 pick. Yeah, I would risk
So,
it.
real quick, Seahawks select running back Zach Charbonnet, or how you would say his name.
Yeah. He was on my list. He's awesome.
And one of our favorite guys, Aaron Wilson, said medical and character issues are causing some highly regarded prospect to fall on draft boards with some adjustments as late as past a few days. So that's probably what maybe JMS is hurt. Maybe
It could
character
be.
issue.
It could be. Um, so you just reported that the Seahawks are selecting a running back, which is now officially announced. Um, the Bears have now selected D lineman Garvin Dexter. So the picks are definitely coming in fast and furious now.
Who did the Bears pick?
Garvin Dexter. And they have to replenish their defense. They traded a lot of their defense away, um, last year to get up picks for this year, and so these are making sense. They have to replenish it. So I think they are making the right moves here. They're not only building around Justin Fields, but making sure that they have a defense around. And I think they're going to do really well. I think Justin Fields, honestly, overall, is going to surprise a lot of people. Before anyone in the chat says I'm an idiot because I'm about to tell you something that not all of you know, I had Justin Fields higher than Trevor Lawrence in terms of who was the best quarterback in that draft. And I think I will be proven right this year. Not necessarily that it's going to be better than Trevor Lawrence, but that he's going to kick ass because I have a lot of faith in Justin Fields.
Okay. Well, why don't you tell some folks about Garvin Dexter that people don't know?
Honestly, even though I have watched him, he's not unfortunately a dude that I spent a lot of time looking at because he wasn't a prospect that I think that we were targeting. So I was looking at first rounds and later rounds. So unfortunately, when it comes to Garvin Dexter, I'm actually a little bit uninformed. So I apologize for that. But I only saw some of his film, and I did not analyze him as much as I've analyzed other dudes. So there's not a ton that I can tell anyone with that one. But what I will say, going back to the Dolphins, is that they are building a secondary that is going to be so strong that the Bills-Dolphins games this year are going to be insane. I'm telling you right now that anytime that those two play, I need to watch that game. I need to watch that game.
So you getting the package, the YouTube package?
Wait, what?
Or you gonna get the YouTube package? Because you say you're gonna watch that game.
Oh, yes. I will get the Sunday ticket on YouTube. Yeah.
I'm thinking about it as well.
Brett Coleman just tweeted out that if you were a dynasty owner of Kenneth Walker, RIP. He apparently thinking that Zach, the new running back that you selected, is going to get a decent amount of carries. I still think you're good with Kenneth Walker. He's a beast. He's not going to get every single carry. They're going to spread it out a little bit more, but I still think he's going to be, if you got him in Dynasty, I think you're still good to go. By the way, just shout out to Brett Coleman, who's a friend of the show. Took some time out of his day, even though he was still moving. He's still in the process of setting his apartment up in LA now that he works partly for the Chargers. So shout out to Brett Coleman, and I just want to thank him for coming on the show earlier. If you haven't watched that episode, go to our YouTube and watch the Brett Coleman episode. It was great. We learned a lot of stuff. We actually talked about the fact that the potential rumor there when there was rumors of Nick Caserio potentially leaving, that we actually discussed the fact that Nick Caserio may not have had D'Amico Ryans as his number one choice for head coach, which could have caused some of the concerns and the rumors to come out that he was going to leave. So we discussed that in that episode. So if you want some background on why those rumors started, it's a good episode to watch.
Well, speaking of that, a lot of people think, it's just rumors, it's cap. So, give us your perspective on why you think that it's a possibility that this is his last year, and Hannah is making some noise inside the office.
Yeah, I think that the first we had John McClane come on the show. We actually had both Aaron Wilson and John McClane come on the show uh, and discuss what happened with the Lovie Smith hire. And in either version of what happened, what we were told by them when they came on they respectively came on the show, is that Nick Caserio wanted to have Josh McCown as the next head coach of the Houston Texans, and was told by Cal and Hannah that he could not make Josh McCown the next coach, because at that point, if you remember in the news, the fact that there were just a very few amount of black head coaches in the league was an issue, and so he was not allowed to select the head coach that he wanted. And so at the end of the day, they selected Lovie Smith, but he didn't want Lovie Smith, and he basically settled on Lovie Smith. Now you have the issue of D'Amico Ryans, and we're hearing that there are multiple reports that he actually preferred Jonathan Gannon, who he really liked the previous year. And so now you have the second time where potentially you have ownership, and this is allegedly, we don't know, but this is what we have heard from multiple reports. Lance Zierlein has publicly stated this, as well as others, that it was Gannon at the end of the day that Nick wanted, and then he was not super happy the fact that he had two coaches back to back that he couldn't have, and those decisions were made above him. And that's why.
Real quick, the Chargers select defensive tackle Tuli. Yeah.
And Kansas City traded up.
No, I always
that-
pronounce this Tulu. I'm sorry. I make jokes because, listen, no one can pronounce my name either, so don't worry about it. That's why I go by VT. So
traded up with the Lions.
KC traded up to the line.
this is definitely a trade-heavy draft.
Fuck them picks.
A lot of trades this draft.
Now, Kansas City going to get Rice. Rasheed Rice.
Yes.
Wow.
Giving Patrick Mahomes more weapons.
The rich get richer.
So they got Rice, Sky Moore, Tony. What's the other guy they got from Green Bay? What his name is? Scanlon. Yeah.
Yeah, MBS.
Man, the rich get richer.
The rich get richer. So the Chargers had some issues stopping the run. So Tuli is a great selection. They're about to announce it now, and then the Chiefs, as Matt Crenshaw just said, select Rasheed Rice. So I think now we can start seeing more receivers come off the board. So I will say, though, if JMS is dropping because of medical issues, I would still take him. Take him, as long as it's a temporary issue, right? And not something that's degenerative. I would still take him. The fact that he's amazing in that run game, I do not expect him to drop this far. This is crazy. But we're on pick 54, and I had him going at 33 in my mock. So, we've got about 10 picks to go before the Texans. So if you're just tuning in, just to let you know, obviously we traded a lot of picks yesterday, so we didn't really have any second round picks. We haven't traded up despite the possibility that we could have done it. We have a lot of dudes still willing to go, so still to go. So there's a lot of options for us here. We could go. We have so many options in terms of receivers, um, and I still want to get a center. So we'll see what they do. I think John John Harris selected Saika for us. So I wonder if they go again D line and not don't hit up the center, which I could potentially see if D'Amico really wants that line to be strong.
So since they got Will Anderson, and like I said, we don't exactly know where it's going to be at. Is linebacker still a priority? Like maybe day 3 or what?
I mean, you have to get a Mike linebacker. Like that's a must. We don't. Yes, we have Denzel Perryman, but Denzel Perryman hasn't been great since 2018. So you have to imagine that Mike linebacker is a huge need. But let me just say that I think that Will Anderson will play at edge 99% of the time. Okay, I can't say 90. That's stupid of me. At least 90% of the time, we should say. And,
Bears
and
traded with the Jaguars.
Bears traded with the Jaguars. Is there a scenario where you could see Will, Grenard, and Hughes on the field at the same time?
I don't know if you'd see him at the same time because I do think that at this point Jonathan Grenard is a rotational player unless he shows something at camp. Um, so I don't see Grenard moving inside necessarily a lot, but I do see him as rotational. So I don't see them
Okay.
all at the same time. Now, obviously, there's going to be specific packages when that happens, but nothing.
Well, okay. Just say we don't get anybody else on the D line. Are you more comfortable with the D line in 2023 than 2022? And by how much?
Are you saying am I comfortable solidifying it
Like,
next year?
yeah, like fours, they're not gonna be 32nd in the run in the run defense. You
Yeah, I mean,
think they'll be still in the high 20s or maybe in the teens?
this is my prediction, and we haven't even finished this draft yet, but I can see us going from 30-31, which is where we were last year, to going up in the 20s and possibly in the late teens, like 18, 19, just based off the free agency and having Will Anderson in there. And we're not done yet. So, I think that we could be when you're moving up 10 to 12 spots, when you were almost last in the league, and or actually the last in the league in one game in the past, and stopping the run in the past 2 years, I think that's significantly better. And if we do that, yeah, I'm very happy.
Okay.
All right. So,
Yeah, man. Drew Sanders and Trent Simpson is still on the board.
just a little bit of non-football news for all my other geeks that follow me. Star Wars is going to be in the theater this weekend if you want to watch it.
So I mean today, right?
Well, hopefully you're watching the draft, so you do it after the draft tomorrow. Yeah. All right. So we see the trade, but we're not seeing any picks just yet. So we'll see. The Bears still deciding.
Corner, Tyreek Stevenson.
Cornerback.
Okay. Yes, Tyreek Stevenson. All right. So we're definitely going defense here. Been going defense for a bit. I think the Bears are definitely going to be competitive here. Oh, what did I do here? All right. Yeah, so we got a couple of Texans picks coming up real soon, guys. I know that. Appreciate you watching us when we haven't even had any picks yet. We didn't know if we were going to trade up or not, but we've got some picks coming up. Basically, in ten slots, we got our next pick up. Yes.
So here's a question for you: what other team need a center? Hit us with the three.
I'm sorry. Can you say that again, Matt?
What other teams need a center? Go ahead and tell us.
Um, there's quite a few teams. Actually, let me look at that list. I'll tell you. Um, so besides us, the Chargers could go line, and to say like it's not just center. A lot of these guys are playing multiple positions, so it's not just center. They can get their dude here. They can play center or guard. So you got the Rams that may go on a line again. Um, you got the Lions that could go linemen. Um, let's see who's picking
The
right around
Giants.
us. I'm sorry.
The Giants.
I think the Giants they selected a lineman, right? So I think they should be pretty much set. Um, yeah. So then there's still a lot of teams that just need linemen. It's not just centers, and that's the thing about linemen is that you don't necessarily have to be in one position, right? Like you look at you know look at us, right? We've moved our guys around a lot of times. Titus Howard has played right tackle, has played guard, has played left tackle. Um, so the only thing he hasn't really played is center. Um,
So some bad news.
oh,
Giants select JMS.
Ah! Ah. That hurt. That hurt my heart. I didn't expect him to fall this much, I gotta say. So they got value there, I'll tell you that. Hell of a value. All right, so I think they're gonna have to. I think at this point they have to select a center at 65. I don't even think it's a question. Rip my notifications. I have to tell you that. There's no way I'm gonna be able to respond to that tonight. Yeah, Patrick Storm says "fuck you Giants," and I agree. Fuck you Giants. Ugh. All right, so if Ricky Stromberg is taken before we pick, I don't know what we do. We got Michigan guy, and Ricky.
You got Luke
Oh,
Luke Whooper or whatever. however his
yeah,
name is.
yeah. Ohio State.
I wouldn't mind him.
No. I think that would be a great pickup, but I honestly don't see. I think there's a run on him. I don't see him lasting right now. I think that I think he can go. Let's see. Before we pick, I could see him going. Well, maybe we'll have a shot actually. Cowboys need probably offense, but not line. Um, Bills need a linebacker.
Cowboys
Bengals.
select Luke Schoonmaker, tight end from Michigan.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say center. I was like, what? All right.
Yeah,
Luke
I make it
Shoemaker
suspenseful.
is an awesome tight end. Awesome tight end. Um, a lot of people actually thought that he's probably the second or third tight end. I think he's the fifth or sixth to go off the board. Um, so yeah, great pickup by they lost Dalton Schultz to us. So I think they definitely got what they needed with their tight end there. Unfortunately. All right, so let's see. The Cowboys have selected two Wolverines so far. which is interesting. So now we're at pick 58. And at 59, we got the Bills. So we'll see what they pick up in a minute. Yes, darn it. Damn it, Bruce. Yes, I agree. This is crazy. I am pissed off. Ridiculous. I see everyone has started calling him John Jacob Jingleheimer Smith as well. Yeah. Well, guys, in just a few moments, well, I can't say just a few moments, probably in about 15 minutes, we'll see a Texans pick, unless there's a trade up for sooner. We are at 58, and we pick at 65. So
To give a shout out to my boy Christopher Remington, he brings up a good point. Do not bring in Weipler, or how you ever say his last name, or Stroud.
Oh yeah, I think that's a definite pickup for C.J. Stroud. They knew each other. Obviously, the chemistry between a center and the quarterback is very important. Something I was also talking about in the space earlier today. And if you're going to have a rookie quarterback and you're going to have a rookie center, the best situation is to actually have them from the same college, because they already built that chemistry. Timing is very, very important. And when you don't have a line that's in with that chemistry, you're screwed. So I think that there is a chance that we can get him, but it is not. It's not certain right now. So yeah, Smith is gone. That was my favorite pick of outside of first.
Bills select Osiris Torres.
Good pick for them. Yeah,
Yeah, he failed too.
he did.
Thought he was going higher than that.
Yeah, he was actually. Many thought he was going to go in the first round. Yeah, Osiris Tyrants. I mean, he's.
Well, we're 6 picks away, everybody.
We are
6 picks away. This kind of reminded me of a couple years ago when we have a pick to the third round. Waiting and waiting and waiting. And we was hoping Nick would have traded up, but we couldn't do it. So let's make it happen.
Yeah, except this time we're going into this with the quarterback and an edge, and one of the best quarterbacks and the best edge in the draft. So slightly different. But yeah, we pick in a bit, and so yeah, it honestly has to be center right now with the way that I'm seeing.
But if they don't go center, and they don't go center at 7-3 either, are you gonna lose your mind or what?
Yeah, I'll throw something at the TV. You'll see it live right here.
Damn.
Yeah, I mean, you cannot leave this draft and get a rookie quarterback and not actually pick a center.
So you don't think Mason is not going to make the center job a little more easier?
Whose job though? I mean, you can't put Scott Quessenberry out there.
I mean, whoever gets it, Quessenberry or who's the other guy that we have behind him?
Bro, Scott Quessenberry.
Who's to say that we don't get an undrafted free agent center that's pretty good?
You can't get a quarterback with the second position and put anyone at that line at center that's not already a beast. It should be illegal to do that.
Okay, so who's the Panthers center right now?
I don't know off the top of my head, honestly. I have to go look it up.
But do you think, the one they have, I don't think. See, them picking a center for Bryce. They're gonna go run with what they ran with last year, and he really needs help on the offensive line because of his frame and everything. He's so I don't think it's the end of the world, but it would be nice to get a center because that position has been weak since.
Oh, they
Chris
got a
Knox.
crazy good center. They got Bozeman, bro.
Oh yeah, Bozeman did sign back.
Yeah.
Let me shut up then. Shut up. Let me shut up. Who's Joe Burrow's center?
Oh, right.
Because you said that you see him as a Joe Burrow type. So who's Joe Burrow's center?
Oh, who's Joe Burrow's center? They actually just made a pick on the line, I believe, right? So hold on. Yeah, I mean they could upgrade it. They have Ted Karras. They could definitely do an upgrade there because he's not great. So yeah, they could use an upgrade there. But again, I would say that's his ceiling anyway. But that doesn't mean that even though that's his ceiling, that you just do what they do. I mean, let's all be honest there. The Bengals did not make great decisions on their line. They lost the Super Bowl because of their line, right? It was Joe Burrow's playmakability that got them to the Super Bowl, and a long list of things that happened, just happenstance. They lost the Super Bowl because Aaron Donald was able to go through that line like Swiss cheese and take him down.
Isn't that what he always do?
You should have been able to hold him at that point, honestly. And if they had better tackle play, a better line play overall, you could have done it. If you remember that play, if you watch it, like I think a lot of people did, watch it over and over and over again. He didn't even have less than 2 seconds, not even 2 seconds to make that play.
Yeah, because a little more time, he could have found Chase for a game-winning touchdown.
We have another pick in. The Bengals select quarterback DJ Turner.
DJ Turner.
Yes.
Was that what you got? Michigan?
I don't remember off the top of my head. I will say that he was top. Was definitely top 10 corner, and there were a ton of people that were high on him.
Yeah, because he had speed.
Yeah.
He got a great recovery time.
Yeah, he was definitely someone that I thought that would be in the first round, frankly. So
Wow.
interesting that he dropped this far. So yeah, he was a Michigan guy. Now we're at 60. We are 5 picks away. Yeah, definitely great value. I would say this. Definitely great value.
Yeah, that's great value. And Jonathan Mingo was great value. They got Adrian Green out here.
I actually wouldn't say that Mingo was great value. I think he was picked where he probably should have been picked, to tell you the truth. So I'm not going to say that was a value pick. All right, the Jaguars have just made a selection, and they're taking tight end Brenton Strange.
Wow, so Washington's still waiting.
So the Jaguars have not re-signed Evan Ingram yet. He still hasn't signed his deal because they tagged him, and so he's obviously waiting for a bigger deal, I believe, right? So they haven't signed him. So I mean, this is some good protection that if they aren't able to sign him. And obviously you have to, at this point, they spent so much money last year that they are now picking depth, right? That's all they really had to do is pick depth. Their rebuild, they started their rebuild way sooner than we started. So they're actually 2 years ahead of us. And so they're picking depth at this point. Brenton Strange is not a starter for them. It's Evan Ingram. And I think that that's a good pick for the Jaguars. We're going to have to, go up against him if Evan Ingram isn't out there, or when they do 2 tight end sets. So for the Jags, yeah, I think that's a good pickup. All right. So to ask this question, I gotta say, if you're talking about jalapeno poppers or fried pickles, it's jalapeno poppers all day friggin' long. Give me that cream
No,
cheese.
no. Give me the fried pickles.
Really?
Yes,
On Sunday.
I love fried pickles.
Wow. Wow.
Now I do like the poppers from churches, but I like those, but I don't like the people that put those big ass jalapenos in there. I don't like that shit. But
Oh
fried pickles all day, man.
man, I love jalapeno poppers, man. I love those jalapeno poppers. All right. So Darnell Washington has fallen. At this point, since so many centers have been taken off the board and we pick at 65 and 73, I will change my previous statement by saying I'll break my TV by saying that if we pick Darnell Washington, I'll be happy, and say we get Ricky Strong, and they pray to God that they get
Well,
Ricky
hey,
at 73.
me and you must be on the same ESPN or whatever because Aaron Wilson just said he is doing a knee issue and unclear how far he falls.
Wow.
So I guess that one hand catch didn't mean nothing in the combine.
Yeah, this is crazy, man. Crazy, crazy, crazy. I liked Darnell Washington so much that, like I said, when you get out of the first round and dudes are hurt. Trade! We just traded to the Eagles. We
Oh,
are
we
now
traded.
picking
Uh-oh.
at pick 62. So Texans are on the clock.
I wonder what the capital is.
So the Texans are on the
Juice
clock.
Scruggs.
They traded up. Oh man.
I think Juice Scruggs is the guy we picked.
What the hell? Really? All right. Well, we got our center. Not the guy that I thought.
Oh, the Jews. Penn State.
All right. So it's Penn
Well, let's
State.
bring the Jews down to the H. Penn State.
So I wasn't honestly. I did not think this is the center that they were going to choose, but they picked up Juice Scruggs. Did not think that this is who they were going to pick, but you know what? They traded up and they did it for a goddamn good reason. We needed a center, so
I don't
here
know,
we
man.
go.
Luke's there. It seems like you take him. You could have got Juice in the fourth, but you're right. Centers are getting taken left and right. So I don't know.
One thing I'm gonna say is that when you have a run, we can't get them at the fourth. You just saw the run that we had on linemen, and they come in spurts. They go like 3 or 4 at a time. You saw the run that we had with trenches a little, and then it stopped, and then we saw a run with tight ends, and then it stopped, and then we just had centers and guards go, and so this is a good pickup. So just to say a little about him here. PFM grades him at a 71.5. So we're gonna. So he is 6'3", 301 pounds. Runs a 5.22. Not bad for a lineman. That's a little over 300 pounds. He has been picked at the 63rd overall pick. and he's from Penn State. So we finally get our center. I will say that it is definitely not the center that I wanted. But I will say that despite not getting the center that I wanted, the fact that we do have a center for CJ Stroud is definitely the way to go. Um, a little more information for him. So he went to the Cathedral Prep High School, and he was an all-state lineman back when he in high school as well. The dude is not necessarily the athletic freak that I would have wanted to say in JMS, but he's a valid starter nonetheless.
Yeah, I mean, we needed a center. He don't have to be the best center, but just don't be a bad center. Don't be Nick Martin.
Yeah, I mean,
And then like how we've been speaking all off season, the zone blocking should make everybody looks good. So we're gonna see. I mean, we'll know, if he's good or not. But I guess we could say right now, no more Scott.
yeah, definitely. And just a few more things to note. So he could play center, he could play guard. He was a team captain, so he's definitely he could be a leader out there. And so those are definitely some positives. So yeah, definitely not the center I wanted, but we have selected Drew Struggs, and they're about to officially announce it.
Yep, I see Cushion right now.
Drew Struggs is the pick.
Oh, I like that one play they just showed. Take him to the ground.
The Texans already announced it on social media. Pick 62. Yeah, he definitely has the experience there. So, not the pick that I wanted, but a worthwhile pick. It was predicted that he would actually go in the third round, but like we said before, when there's a run on a position, you got to go up and get it. There's just no two if and no buts about it. They needed one, and they got it.
So we gave up 65, 188, and 230. 230.
So basically gave up nothing. Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's not bad. 188, 230. I mean, we basically gave up late round picks to go up there. I think that's valuable.
The Broncos got Mills.
Yeah, and it's so already I'm seeing that it was a reach, but I'm just telling people that if they think that's a reach, this is what happens when there's a run on players. You have to make the move, or you lose out, and you cannot take a quarterback like we just did that already has issues with performing under pressure and not solidify that position. So he's missed less than 10 games in his entire career. He's a healthy dude for the most part, and I think that it was a good pick. The Broncos have made their pick. I'll see what it is in a moment, but the Broncos will make their pick, and I can already see it now. For the names.
It's
It's Mims. Damn it. Well, we knew he was going to go right about here. So that's a great pickup. Great pickup. Marvin Mims is a awesome receiver, and then honestly, they're going to get a great value out of him because if we would have went with my guy Caleb, what would have happened with him? We saw when at Oklahoma when Caleb was there, the production that he had, and he's only dropped because of quarterback play. So Marvin Mims is amazing. His comp is Emmanuel Sanders. So I think that he's going to be great for the Broncos. Now the question there is Russell Wilson going to actually be a good quarterback, or is he going to continue to suck? Because he's been pretty shitty, and I imagine that he's going to continue to be shitty. And something to note is that Hendon Hooker is still on the board. People thought he was going to get picked within pick 5. It is now pick 63, and he is still on the board. We may see him drop to the 3rd round. Jalen Hyatt as well. So definitely interesting.
Our next pick is what? What number?
73.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, so the Broncos did get Mims. We got a center. Again, not a center that I wanted. So unfortunately, he wasn't even on my radar, to tell you the truth. But at the end of the day, they was solidified, and they obviously had a grade on him. None of my mocks had him in him. None of my mocks had him in here. So I can't even say that, hey, I knew him. But I'm actually watching some film of right now, just seeing how powerful he is, and he's definitely a pancaker.
All right, so at 73, Josh Downs and Jalen Hyatt and Cedric Tillman. Which three you going?
I'm not going Jalen Hyatt. I would not pick him up at all. I don't think he's right for this team. Josh Downs, yes. I can say Josh Downs. I would pick Josh Downs. Hyatt is off the board for me. I can't imagine that they select him either. Hyatt, if he would have been faster, like he did about a 4.4 or so, right around on 40. If he ran a 4.2, then I can say, all right, that's the big risk. But the bottom line is that he doesn't have a positive route tree. He's very, very limited. Just that go route. And you cannot just have a receiver, especially this receiving core, with such a limited route tree. We need someone that can, that can actually run routes and not just a go route.
So how's CJ Armstrong to get it down the field for the go routes?
He actually has a great arm. It's not the strongest arm in the draft at all, but anything like that. I would say it's probably the 3rd strongest. So you have Anthony Richardson, who has the strongest arm. Then you have Will Levis with the 2nd strongest arm, and I would say the 3rd belongs to C.J. Stroud. So he's got the 3rd biggest arm in this draft, and so say 3 out of 5. So out of the 5 quarterbacks there, I would say that he's probably right around 3. So it's a strong arm. There's no critique about it. It's just not the strongest. So I will say that the Texas fans are a little confused that we traded up, and I can understand why. That was not it's not a sexy pick, man. It's a lineman, but we still needed we needed to get it done.
Yeah, we needed the center, but it's almost like we could have stayed still and still got a center.
That may not have been the case, man. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you are not sure, not positive, you have to make that pick. And that's what they did. They wanted to make sure, they wanted to guarantee that their quarterback will not have an issue. And they obviously believed in him enough to give up picks to get him.
Rumors are the Broncos were about to take him. That's why we jumped up and got him to stay.
I mean, that would make sense.
Well, why not go after Weipler instead of me?
I mean, they must have had a higher grade, Must have been. I mean, that's all I can say. Unfortunately, I don't have a ton. But let me see what Jonathan M. Alexander, friend of the show, he's actually been on too. So if you want to watch that episode, again, you can go to our YouTube. But let's see if he's making any comments. Oh, there's no grade yet for it. All right, the Bears have selected Zach Pickens. So we got another pick. The Bears are going heavy on defense. Really heavy on defense.
Yeah. I mean, that's how we know Bears for his defense. But you would think they'll get some more offensive weapons to help out Fields. At least another wide receiver.
I
I
mean,
know they traded for one,
yeah, they
but
got DJ
they'll get
Moore and
another
Chase
one.
Claypool,
But
and Darnell
can
Mooney's
never have,
still there.
but you can never have enough though.
I mean, wh- what do you do? They've got good running backs. They've got three receivers. They can go late round for their receivers. They don't need to pick a
Yeah,
receiver now, right? They've got
they got,
DJ
they got a
Moore.
good, they got a good tight end too.
Yeah, they've got DJ Moore. They've got Chase Claypool, right?
Yeah, I
They
forgot
got
about
Darnell Mooney,
Claypool.
um, and then they got the
Oh,
dude I can't remember his name that starts with a P.
pussy.
But yeah, they already got four good receivers.
Oh well, damn. So yeah, fits the defense. No
Yeah.
more Aaron Rodgers. They're gonna need defense for that Lions offense for sure.
Uh, Landry said the trade would make Mike Messler mad, and I think he would. But this is where So I rant some, but I don't know if you guys have ever seen a Mike Messler rant. I love his rants because he gets all angry and like distorts his microphone when he's angry. This would make Mike Messler rant like hell.
Fair.
So I think this is a good job by the Texans so far. Um, what was awesome is that Brian Cushing announced it, and I think that the fact that we solidified the position is definitely something that I'm happy with. Yeah, you're right though. I would have gone Luke, but again, I'm not analyzing. I'm not a scout. The fact that we got a center and they chose him over Luke probably means that they had a better grade. I mean, well, not probably. They definitely means they had a better grade. Um, so right now they're about to announce the pick that should have been ours, which is the Eagles pick, and we'll see.
So PFF had a 93.1 grade across Drew Scruggs with 56 practice pass blocking reps.
Oh, and pass blocking specifically. Okay. Yeah, I saw the overall was 70 something, but yeah, the pass blocking. So, all right. So that kind of tells you something in terms of scheme. They're probably going to be more balanced then, huh? Like,
Yeah, I mean he allowed 1 sack and 480 snaps. So I like that.
yeah, I mean, but that also tells you something scheme wise. They didn't feel the need to trade up to get JMS, but they felt the need to trade up to get him, which means that what we predicted that we were going to go one heavy, they don't see. They may not be as one heavy as we think. They may be way more balanced. You can kind of tell that, like if you're looking at the center position and you didn't get JMS, right? When JMS rocks it on the run game, the reason why he was number one on my board is because I believe that we would go heavy with the run. You have Damian Pierce already. You have Devin Singletary, and so you want to take pressure off your quarterback. One of the ways you do that is by using the run, using play action.
So
Um,
that's where scheming comes in, right?
correct,
Because zone blocking would improve that for him.
correct.
So
But
he's already a stud at pass blocking. That's all you need. And with him getting help with his zone blocking, perfect.
right, and I agree with that. My point here is that the fact that they have gone and traded up for a center that wasn't number one in the run game, but higher in the pass game, which tells me the scheme that they're building is going to be either balanced or more pass heavy than I thought. So the interesting thing now is that the Eagles have back-to-back picks. They will actually pick at pick 65 and pick 66. Bruce, I think we pick a receiver. So I think it's receiver all the way. And I think that's definitely going to be necessary because we do have a fairly weak receiving room, even with John Mechie coming back. Thank God that he beat cancer and he came back. But it's still a weak receiving room even with him. So I think that we do have to go receiver. We don't have Marvin Mims. We don't have Rashay Rice. So I think now is a time where you're going to have to get receiver. Um, I could see them if they wanted to go get a running back because a receiver may feel that they'll have to reach up. Um, I didn't want to go Nathaniel Dell, but I can see them now that we don't have Mims, we don't have Mingo. Um, I can see us actually going Tank Dell right now. So that may be the next pick that the Texans make. And let's see if we can get some information on this Eagles pick. So the Eagles pick is in, but we don't necessarily know what it is. All right. They picked Tyler Steen. So the Eagles picked Tyler Steen, and now they pick again.
Oh, he couldn't just do both picks at one time?
Again, Sidney Brown.
Oh, Sidney Brown. Okay.
All right. So Tyler Steen is the pick.
And so is Sidney Brown.
Oh, the other pick is Sidney Brown, Tyler Steen, and Sidney Brown. All right. Sidney Brown is definitely someone that was actually high on my board because I liked him a lot. So Sidney Brown is definitely a pickup that I would have made. Here's a little quote by Juice Scruggs, the new center that the Texans picked up. He said, "I'm a guy that's going to work his butt off and give it everything I got. I'm a center, but I can play both guard positions." So you know how we have always valued versatility. And even Nick Casario has said that. So he can play left guard, right guard, and center. And here's something that's interesting. If Kenyon Green sucks, I'm not saying he will. Don't at me with that statement. He could jump in there. Now we do need a backup center and as well. But the fact that we have versatility here does make a lot of sense for getting Juice Drugs. Let's see. So we still have pick 73, pick 104, pick 105. So those are the next three picks coming up.
But only one more for today, right?
Oh, for today, yeah. I'm just saying the actual picks
Oh, okay.
coming up. The Broncos select Drew Sanders.
Yeah, Broncos.
So the Broncos are definitely going up there with their defense as well. They had a top 5 defense last year. So something to remember is that they had a top 5 defense, but they had a bottom 3 offense. So with Drew Sanders, they're only getting better on that defensive side.
Well, the Broncos still, being the Broncos, feel like that we're going to play good defense and run the ball, and hopefully Russ could do just enough to pull off the W's. I don't think Russ is going to be bad this year. I don't know what happened last year. I don't know, but I think he's going to be pretty good. I still see the Broncos as a playoff team next year behind Kansas City in that division. So that's my hot take.
Cap on that. I got to call cap.
I just don't see Sean Payton offense being bad. I feel like they're going to put it together. I feel like last year it was just bad play calling and Russ just in a new environment. Yeah, he wanted to go there, but I think it'll be better this year, man. I can see the Broncos winning 9 games. Oh, yeah, the Hooker's off the board.
And Hooker just got picked?
The Lions.
Wow. Okay.
That's good value.
Excellent value, honestly. That's perfect for the Lions.
Because he could take them on real slow while God do his thing. Man, Detroit, I see you. Matthew Stafford should be pissed off.
Well, I mean, he only has 2 years left on his contract, this year, next. So they gotta pick for the future, and so that makes a lot of sense to me. Now his age is an issue, right? That's something that I've had an issue with Hendon Hooker, which is why I didn't want him. People were mocking Hendon Hooker to us, and I was about to cry. But this is good for the Lions. Um, he I think that he can't play this year really, like, or he's going to start late at the very least. Um, the Lions are a playoff team, so you can continue to do that with Jared Goff, and then you can make a decision on whether or not you want to pay him again. My decision is that they don't, and then Jared Goff goes and potentially goes somewhere else. Like, I don't know what happens in 2 years from now, but I think that Jared Goff stays in the league and goes somewhere else and goes on another run. We have traded to pick 69. We are no longer on
Trade it.
73.
Trade up.
So we Texans have traded up to pick 69. Nice. I wish StreamYard had a GIF compository so I could actually put GIFs on here. So I can put that. Nice. All right, another quote while we're waiting. Another quote by Juice Scruggs. Any lineman's dream is to have a running back like Damian Pierce behind you. Ooh, that's awesome. All right, so let's see. I'm trying to find out what is going to be our pick. All right, here's another quote from Juice Scruggs. Juice got his nickname Juice because he preferred juice as a kid instead of milk as a baby. Okay. All right. We got Tank Dell.
Tank Dell.
All right. So we got our speedy guy. Now, I would say the one thing, the knock about him is his size. He's 165 pounds. And so that to me is an issue. However, this guy, anyone who's ever seen him play will have to acknowledge that this dude is fast. His 40 time does not do him justice. The way that this dude cuts is amazing. He was not necessarily the highest on my list, seriously, because of size. And as anyone that either follows me on Twitter or watches us before, you know that when it comes to players, I look at their measurables as a decent reason to draft them. One of the reasons why I was not high on Bryce Young. But I think that at this point, given the selections that we had, because Mims was off the board, Mims was selected. Rice was selected, Mingo was selected. You're running out of options there. We didn't have JSN, you didn't have Quentin Johnson. All those first rounders were taken, and we didn't take a receiver at all. So I think that was the best option on the board. And as I was saying earlier, that I think that they would go to get Tank Dell. Yeah, that is definitely the pick that I saw. So we got Tank Dell.
I still think we could have got someone better than Tank. I don't think we needed to trade up to get Tank Dell. I think he would have been there at 73.
I don't think so. There was
You
a
don't
run.
think so?
Nope, there was a run. We wouldn't have got him.
Well, let somebody else get him.
Because who was after us?
Who's after us?
Browns.
Didn't they just get the guy from the Jets?
I mean, you need three, right? You need three.
They don't. Who are the other receivers?
So they got Cooper,
and
that was basic. And you have DPJ.
Okay, DPJ and a guy from the Jets. So they got their three.
Yeah, but the thing is, DPJ has done more on returns than as an actual receiver. So I think they want to continue using him as a returner.
Oh. Well, I think Tank's going to be a returner for us. What do you think?
I think he's going to return, but he's going to line up. He's going to line up in the slot. I think he's got to. But also remember, the Patriots were going up in 2 picks as well, and the Patriots were mocked at getting Zay Flowers, who they really wanted too. So they wanted a receiver. You had to. You had the Browns and the Patriots that were going to get a receiver right there. This was definitely the reason to go. So yeah. But yes, so the Texans got Tank Dell, a fan favorite. There was a lot of fans that wanted Tank Dell.
So
And he's
right
still
now, with this day and yesterday, what grade average do you give the Texans so far?
It's an A+. It's
Wow.
an A+.
Kershaw?
I would say A+ like BT, but I'm gonna say A-. I just still feel like we didn't have to trade up for either guy that we got. I think both would have still been there. But either way it goes, it's a solid draft. I'm glad that we focus on offense today, which I thought we were. Anything to help my future franchise quarterback. So I guess I can say A+ too with you, VT. Can't go wrong with that.
I mean, honestly, the only position that hasn't been solidified right now is Mike linebacker. That's literally the only position that hasn't been solidified that needed to be solidified. And we traded up picks, so we couldn't get all those positions yet. But we still have picks to go. So, we could get a Mike linebacker pretty soon. I don't think so. Some people were asking whether or not we could have used Christian Harris. Could we move him as Mike? He's on the weak side right now, and I think that Christian Harris will stay on the weak side. We have Perryman, so if they believe in Perryman enough, we may not have to use a draft pick on a middle linebacker. But I think that we do. I think that the next pick that the Texans make
That's what we gave up.
is going to be linebacker.
One. So hey,
Oh,
we
sorry.
gave up
Hold on.
73 and 151. So what we got left?
So say that again because I hit the wrong button and
73 and 151 is the ones that we have left,
Okay.
or that we traded.
Okay,
So
so
what we got left?
we still have 2 picks in the hundreds right there, right? Like 104, 105. So we're still in good shape, guys. We're still in good shape. So we did visit Tank Dell at his pro day. Someone that people did see as an option. A lot of Texas fans liked him. Like I said, he was not high on my board because of his size, but obviously they don't believe that to be an issue. So we got another speedy receiver. So there is no way in hell that I can be mad at this draft. Like you have to be crazy to be mad at this
Kersaw's
draft.
gonna have to look up his serial killer name.
Yeah. All right, the Saints draft Kendra Miller. We are announcing our pick right now at pick 69. Nice! But the Saints have now select TCU Kendra Miller. I gotta say, man, I do not understand these Saints picks at all. I don't know what the hell they're doing there. Does anyone have an answer? Like he's definitely like I understand the running back there, but like, I don't know. Not the running back I would have chosen.
The other teams in the division's not mad.
I'm sorry?
I said the other teams in the division not mad at what the Saints are doing.
Yeah, I mean, they can't be mad. I mean, like, unless I'm wrong, unless you guys know, I don't think Kendra Miller has the best hands. And they need a pass catching back. Am I wrong, guys? Do you think that he has better hands than I think?
Well, I'm not too familiar with his hands, so I got to look at that more. But like we always say, obviously they know more than us. They scouted him more, but I don't know, man. I guess this showing that Sean Payton's not in the building, and this guy don't know what the hell he's doing. Because last year they had a questionable draft, right? But outside of the wide receiver, that was, you might as well take him out of Ohio State.
Yeah.
Yeah, Olave.
Yeah, I don't get what the Saints are doing. I think they seem to be on the downward trend right now, frankly. Yes, I get the position, but not necessarily the player. Um, Kendra Miller was definitely not going to be on my list of Saints. I would have never mocked Kendra Miller to the Saints. But again, that's me. So we definitely have a amazing draft for the Texans. So while we're waiting, I am just gonna say this draft is fucking incredible. I can't complain one iota. Yes, the Giants took JMS. That's who I wanted. The Marvin Mims was taken as well. So the two players that I wanted were taken, but you can't control what other people do. And we traded up and got a good center, and from a pass protection wise, and we got the speedy receiver that people wanted. A lot of people wanted Zay for his speed, and so we got Tank Dell for speed. And I think
So
that there's not much you could complain about.
I'm gonna split between you and Crenshaw. I'm gonna go A, just to be different.
Yeah,
We all can't be the same.
you could go A plus plus, I guess.
I'm gonna say F.
um,
We still got Will Levis at number 2,
oh God, what are you talking about?
right?
Um, all right, so we did skip over the Raiders, so I apologize, guys. But you probably saw that was Brian Young. We were too excited about um, our own picks. But yeah, the Raiders selected Brian Young, and the Saints are about to select Kendra Miller. And again, Raiders are going heavy on defense. They really want to stop that run. So that's quite interesting on what they're doing. Didn't expect them to go that heavy on defense, but yeah. And then we'll have a division rival coming up in a moment. So, oh no, that was traded up, right? Yep.
So, what do you want to do?
What do you want to do? We want to win games. That's what we want to do. We want to win games, and with this team we're putting together, I think we will. So let's see. Oh, Marvin Harrison Jr. Tweeted out Tank and CJ eyeballs emoji. So that's amazing, right? We got Marvin Harrison Jr. saying that it's a great pick. I wish CJ was more. He doesn't like social media, so he's not really going to be tweeting. But I wish I would get his thoughts and see his thoughts on this pick because he's going to be throwing to him a ton. And so no, he's really not tweeting up anything except he's eating some chicken fingers with Bryce Young and Bijan Robinson right now, or was an hour ago. That's about the only thing that we see. But we'd have Tank Dell. So at this point, do you guys think there's any other big position that you want besides middle linebacker?
Oh, I think you can still go cornerback
I'm about to say the same thing.
because
Yeah, we could.
Nelson Allen. We don't know if he's gonna be back after this year. So I say you go cornerback, and then after cornerback, you go BPA. You go BPA.
I mean, I would do linebacker over corner, but I can see them going corner depending on who's there.
But I thought you said after linebacker.
Oh no, I was saying instead. Sorry, I said instead of linebacker.
Oh, okay.
So
No, linebacker's where you go.
yeah,
But after that, I can see corner and I can see tight end.
yeah, I can see both there. But yeah, I didn't catch that earlier, David. But yes, we need a speedster, and you got Tank. So there we go. Frank Ross is going to love Tank Dell. Let me just tell you right now. Do you think he returns a touchdown in his first?
I just hope Tank Dell don't be Will Fuller.
What do you think? Do you think that Tank Dell returns for a touchdown in his rookie year? Do you think that's a possibility?
I say he do want a preseason, but not in the season.
Okay, that's fair enough. So one of my the dudes that's in the chat group on Twitter was asking me, don't you think that Tank Dell's too short? Yes, I think he's short, and I think that weight is an issue. But given who was on the board, because it was the right choice. You had Rice, Mingo, all basically everyone else was gone. Anyone that had any positional value there was gone. So yeah, I think that was the only thing you could do. So can't really disagree with that. So Arizona their pick is in. We're trying to see what they actually selected. We don't know as of yet, but they have definitely handed it out. We're just not seeing it yet.
Hey,
Giants traded up and got Jalen Hyatt.
we are going to leave here. So if you want to kick on, we'll try to jump on when we get home. But we're going to leave the amazing KC Taco Company. So
I'll stay on just for a bit. I won't stay on for too much longer because I was going to say that our picks are pretty much over with for today. So I'll stay on for just a little bit.
right.
But just to say that the Giants picked Jalen Hyatt, and I'm sure I'll talk to you guys in about 15 minutes or so on the group chat.
And if something crazy happened in those 15 minutes, shoot a text and I go live in the car.
Okay. All right. That sounds good.
All right. Peace out.
All right. Peace out, guys. So the Giants picked Jalen Hyatt, and I actually said that I would not select him at all. And the reason is that he only runs one thing. It's a go route. And you can't have a receiver especially with our receiving group, with just running one route. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. So I think that is, so if people are asking why didn't we get Jalen Hyatt, well, that's why. It doesn't make any sense for us to have gotten Jalen Hyatt, simply because, like I said, his route tree. So the Giants traded up. They got Jalen Hyatt, not one I would have done, but yeah, we got that. So here's what Tank Dell has to say. It's a blessing. I prayed for this. I wanted to be here. I sent a message to them on Instagram. So Tank Dell was praying and hoping to be a Houston Texan, and now he is. So something that's you got to be happy with. Another thing that Tank Dell said, I let the Texans know I wanted to be here. So yeah, he obviously, being from Houston, he wanted to be here. Let's just talk about the Giants just for a moment because they selected Jalen Hyatt. So in round one, they selected cornerback Dante Banks. They selected JMS, great center, my center, and then wide receiver Jalen Hyatt. So they are they're having a decent draft. The Browns select receiver Cedric Tillman. And if you're asking why didn't we do that, I loved Tillman. I would have done Cedric Tillman, frankly, but They wanted someone that was fast and that could cut, so I can understand it. So the Browns select Cedric Tillman. And I do think, like I said, that's a good pickup. And as we're talking about Tank Dell, who we picked up, Cedric Tillman is probably the only receiver that I would have picked over him in terms of positional value. But when you want to go speed, you go speed, and that's what they did, as opposed to an X. But yeah, so there are definitely people that are not happy with the Tank Dell one because of his size, and I understand it. Like, this is football; you can get hurt. But if you're thinking Jalen Hyatt, you can't. Jalen Hyatt can only run one route. That's a go route. So that's really the problem there. So the Browns, like I said, are selecting Cedric Tillman, giving another weapon to Deshaun Watson. Obviously, our future also depends on what they do. Because of the picks that we have with them. But however, we actually traded our pick, and so we have their pick next year. So what they do and what they select actually still affects our future for one more year. But they got Cedric Tillman. I'm going to sub this tweet out, and I'm going to let people know that is the reason why we selected Tank Dell. So like I said, the only wide receiver that I would have selected over Tank Dell, where we were, was going to be Cedric Tillman. And I appreciate you guys watching, but I think I'm going to head out here in a moment. Our picks are pretty much done. I can see that Texans fans are tuning out now. It looks like that. So I'll stay here for just a few moments, but I won't be here that much longer, guys. If you have any questions and you're watching or you want to talk about something, shoot me a comment. If you want to jump on, DM me. I'm at Brown Chubby Bear. And if you want to come on, DM me on Twitter, and I'll send you an invite. You could jump, talk about the draft. So you got an open invite to talk. If you want to, just DM me. And that's at Twitter. I'm Brown Chubby Bear. So the Browns, like I said, are selecting Cedric Tillman. Here's another thing that Tank Dell said. I love the culture of Houston. This was a city that took a chance on me. And, he's a Cougar, so he does like Houston, and he remains here. So let's look at the potential offense from the Texans at this point. Got quarterback C.J. Stroud, running back Dameon Pierce, running back number 2, Devin Singletary. Your X receiver at this moment is Nico Collins. Your Z receiver at this moment is Robert Woods. Your Y receiver is John Mechie. Now, I think that this is where you have to figure out, where do you put Tank Dell? And I think at this point, I think you can either swap in John Mechie or Tank Dell. You can swap in him for a Z, like Robert Woods or Tank Dell. Obviously, you can't make Tank Dell an X receiver, so we still need to draft a receiver. So that probably will not get solidified this draft, in my opinion. We'll get a late rounder, but I don't think that late rounder would be a starter. I think we solidified that wide receiver position next year, and I think that we will still have a positive offense because of the picks that we have. But just going on down this list, then you have tight end Dalton Schultz, left tackle Laramie Tunsil, left guard Kenyon Green. The center, we just got our center with Juice, and right guard Shaq Mason, right tackle Titus Howard. Jordan Pun was saying that we are center and wide receiver away from a strong unit, and we got both. So on that note, what I'm going to do is I'm going to end the stream. Actually, I have some comments. So right before. Let's go later. Yep. All right, guys. I'll talk to you guys later. You'll find me on Twitter. I'll probably jump on a space if you want to go on Twitter. You can find me at Brown Chubby Bear. come on Twitter and we can talk about the draft. I'm going to get off the stream. I'm going to get some food and go to the bathroom. So I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Go Texans. I'm going to win this an A+ draft. Follow me on Twitter at @BrownChubbyBear. Thanks, guys. Talk to you later.